Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get started soon. I'm setting everything up. We're gonna be talking about chapter 32 of Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. After we read it, of course. We'll be joined by Bomb as usual, you know, at the end. Let's have fun. Hee hee. All right, let's get started. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, here we go. So y'all just let me know if if everything is too loud or whatever. Let me actually check it myself. Okay, dope. I saw that it disconnected. I hope that it doesn't continue doing that, because that would be really unfortunate. Let me actually close whatever I don't need open so that doesn't continue happening for me. So, last episode, the Black Parade was happening, a bunch of demons spawned, all these different things happened, and TSURUGI topped a big ass demon hand, the demon hand that brought them all down into the world. So that's where we left off, right? They're looking cool, drippy as always. Okay, here we go. So this is where we left off, right? TSURUGI chopped that big ass demon hand in mad pieces. So that's TSURUGI Hijiri. He really is too amazing. That's right, we have cross paladins on our side. Don't back down. We have to hold down the line. Okay, this dude, he looks familiar. What anime? Where this person looks wild from? This design looks wild familiar. Could somebody help me out? Where is this from? Either way, cross paladins are real bad news. I'm so glad I didn't get hit by that. Now, guys like these, dealing with them will be cake. Using my full power, I reduce this whole area to ash. Damn, this attack is way stronger than the last one. Fuck. What vulgar behavior. And she blocks it with one hand. 7 deadly sins. Is that it? Okay, because I'm also thinking, what about from JJK? When he was fighting with Toto. Either way, shouldn't the demon lord be challenging foes stronger than himself? What possible enjoyment could you get out of bullying my subordinates? Boom. Alright, so she lets him punch, she evades. Naughty kids like you get punished, and she cracks him, kicks him probably with the fucking heel too. She took him down with a single blow. Commander Kirigane screamed, "Milady, you lot need to shape up. You called yourselves members of Sanguis? Why are a lot of you acting like gutless wimps? I swear. Don't make me have to say things like this. After all, I'm counting on all of you." And she got them whipped into shape. Commander. Alright, we'll do our best. So the surprise, everyone avert your eyes. I knew you'd be quick on the uptake. Lady, what's going on? Let's go, hussy. Oh, he got the Sharingan. I ain't gonna lie, that's a cool I respect it. Alright, yet another vulgar demon lord. If you all would please excuse me. Tachijima, get yourself away from here. You're in my way. Let me handle this. The strength of the top demon lords is on a whole nother level. So, okay, she's handling this big guy. Here I thought I'd caught the scent of a mighty warrior, but all I'm seeing is a little girl. Little girl? With someone who's got 6 eyes, your vision really sucks. Your nose had it right. We have Sanguis, all hardcore fighters. Oh, she's a part of Sanguis too. Oh, this is a solid group. Well, my body's storming in anticipation. Be sure you show me the demon lord Baku Yoraku a good turn. And they all surround him. Damn, all his eyes are literally looking everywhere. That's kind of funny. And he meets them all, striking. He does a pose that somehow hits all of them. Wait, was it like he struck them all faster than he hit them all while they was on the air? So that's either a speed feat or whatever pose he did just pushed them back. What do you think you're doing? We can't do anything here. I'm gonna go help. All right, so they fighting right now. Your speed is excellent, but you're too soft. Oh, he has a fucking trident. I take back what I said before. It's obvious you've trained for many years. I was rude to call you a little girl. I commend your hard work and will end your misery instantly. And what happens? What? Gates of Hell, girl? That's what they call her? What are you doing? I said we can't do anything. When I was at the Gates of Hell, I was told to protect everyone no matter what. That's right, Gates of Hell, girl. It's time to begin our counterattack. How dare you interfere with the battle between warriors? Sorry, but I'm an exorcist. Max, he did I disrespected her just now. What you mean a battle between warriors? Like, I'm not a fucking warrior. Put me a fucking chest in his face. What's wrong with him, John? An insolent fool like you should die in agony. Oh shit. And then what happens? A black hand comes out of nowhere. Cracks him. What's this? A new demon lord? Oh, that's my boy. From this point forward, they fuse. This reminds me of Digimon. Oh shit. Oh, what was that Digimon series when they started fusing, bro? That's so fire. You'll be fighting us. That voice. Nian? Jack Joe? Oh, what? Nah, this is heat. This is heat. I fuck with this, bro. Oh man, I have so many thoughts on this. So many fucking thoughts. All right, y'all, give us a second. And then we're gonna be moving on to the next portion of this where we have a discussion about this chapter. So Bomb and I will be loading this up. And let me hold on. Y'all.
Wow.
Okay, let me move everything over. Yes, sir.
Yo, how'd I end up?
Not here. Right here. Yes. Okay. Say something, please.
Something, please.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Now, all right. So, how did you feel about this series with properties? About this chapter is what I'm saying.
About the chapter, the BAPTA.
The BAPTA.
The LAPTA.
The tilapia.
BAPTA. But all jokes aside, another good setup chapter. So one thing I'll say about this chapter is this is a good. When you get to a part of any type of shonen like this, I think this is where you would be like, all right, this is where I'm supposed to just read this shit as a volume, you know? And that's how I felt about this chapter. This chapter was very good. But imagine you reading this in the volume, you just finish a chapter, and you know you got at least another 8 chapters in the volume.
Yup.
You're gonna be like,
Yup.
right?
Question: wasn't we just having a discussion about spoilers? That's kind of similar to this. Like, since you keep getting in such small increments, you can't enjoy it.
I do want to revisit that towards the end of this, because I'll have to talk. We'll be talking about a different series, but it doesn't have to be extensive. I just wanted to give like a warning, because there were spoilers for a certain popular anime this week, but that's not the end of it. That's not
we
the
could
crazy
make a
stuff,
separate
because I
video
know
for
all
that.
the leaks.
You heard?
But what happened?
We could make a separate video for that one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Content wise, but go ahead.
To Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, I figured that this is what this chapter would be. Basically setting up the matchups, because I know, of course, that the top Hell Lords appeared at the end of the last chapter. So I was like, okay, this chapter is going to be setting up matchups, and that is that's to a certain extent what we got. I say to a certain extent because there's still a bunch of Hell Lords that didn't get any matchups.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Actually,
like a good 3 or 4. I don't remember exactly how many they are, but it's at least 2 or 3. Let me say that didn't get any type of matchup. They're not matched up with anybody. So there's that. In terms of the rest of the chapter, I think what's cool is that TSURUGI is the one that popped it off, and I felt like it was almost like he was like the foreshadow for the Jack Joe Nihan fusion. And I felt that the reason why I love this so much is particularly because, for example, I always understood that Jack Joe would power up because we got earlier in the series we seen that he was once like a former Hell Lord, if I'm not mistaken. We just don't know how he came to the human world without no memory. That's a subplot to be solved in of itself. But I always was wondering, like, how is I keep on wanting to call him Negan, but Nihan, how is he supposed to stay relevant? And we saw that he wants to fight, and we know that it was basically, ironically, TSURUGI was the person that chastised those two the most in terms of, you were a demon. He needs to be exercised, and he ends up being the one to train him. Not only that, but as we can see, he pulled up to the chapter looking clean. It's a clean character or form design and everything.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm happy that like they working together in tandem. So Nihan he's not just on the sideline, like, kind of like being a Pokemon trainer to Jack Joe. They working together, like you said, the Digimon series, where they became.
What season was that?
Were you talking about the one where they fused with the Digimon, or
where they fused
became
with the Digimon? Oh, I guess both.
Okay, funny enough, both seasons were back to back. So in season 3,
favorite was
Digimon,
where they fused with the Digimon. Where they were almost like Power Rangers.
The one where they fused with the Digimon was season 3, with Wheelmon and he turned into the Night Gallantmon, and then season 4 was where they actually became the Digimon with their devices. Spirit Execute, Spirit Evolution, and all that, and then they transform into the actual Digimon. Because they had each of them was assigned a Digimon's ancient warrior spirit from the ancient Digimon world. But it was super cool. I'm happy for this development. This is definitely a chapter where you're not supposed to read it. It comes off like a chapter you shouldn't read in isolation. It's cool, but this would be the chapter that, if you're binge reading it, for example, when this thing has 200 plus chapters or 100 plus chapters, you'll be happy that you have another 70 or so chapters to read after this.
Yep. And this made me think of,
nothing wrong with it.
This made me think about the fact that, like, different, like, chapters are different for different series, right? Because this is giving me very much Bleach, and like my trauma is like activating again, right? But then when I'm reading, a viral hit. No, okay. Well, One Piece too, but let's say viral hit, yo, them chapters be so long. Sometimes I be begging that shit to end, bro. And it's like, now I'm over here and one of their chapters is like 5 of this, right? I'm not complaining because at the end of the day, I'm not the one drawing it. And look how fire this one drawing is. You feel me? Imagine a whole, you know, like a whole comic book of that. So I'm not gonna be here telling anybody do more, do that, so that. I'll just say it is just unfortunate for the reader that goes week to week. But to your point, these things were never meant for us to be consumed that way to begin with. Or I guess maybe no. That's not true, because they do have the weekly Shonen Jump magazine in itself, right? But I think this specifically is better consumed in volume format. But I think that, I don't know, it just struggles because if you read it in volume format, everything feels like it moves way too quickly too. So I don't know. I don't know really what would help this series, but regardless, I'm enjoying it because this is cool as fuck. I didn't know they were gonna go this route. I thought it was gonna be more of like a Zatch Bell, you know, kind of situation. But it wasn't.
Where he kind of on sidelines and
yeah, like maybe
Jack Joe, like
maybe
don't
eventually he'd have his powers or whatever, but it'd be more still based on like in his connection to Jack Joe or whatever. But I think this is really cool. A fusion. And I wonder where this is going to go, and especially what's the spiritual esoteric meaning of this, right? Like what's going to happen to this child as he becomes an adult, and what's going to happen to his psyche when he's, you know, eventually he's going to master this almost half demon state, and what's going to happen to the demon who essentially lost his memories and now he's mixing with a child, and what's going to happen to that child when that demon gets those memories back and now he has to, you know, wrestle with all of those things. This series might not talk about that, but it's just things that I'm thinking about, right? Just someone, you know, like if this was like a serious situation that I'm looking at. But still, I think this is a really cool outcome. I think it's cool. He even looks taller. You feel me? Bro looks taller somehow. So I'm all for this change. I just, yeah, I'm thinking, what if we do this maybe every 2 weeks or something, you know, or every 3 weeks, just so we have something to nibble on, something. But for now, I'm just enjoying being able to talk about this. And you mentioned on how Tsurugi was the one to pop it off, and I feel like they made that clear, even though he was the antagonist in the beginning. But that just shows how much, like, even if you don't like him, he is 10 toes down on his fucking principles. If Tsurugi says, I am gonna kill that demon, regardless of whether it's good or bad, he's gonna do it. So if you happen to have a demon as an enemy, it's up for them. It's like having a second Hokage against your enemy who's an Uchiha, right? Yeah, this man is a racist, but who else do you want on your side right now? You feel me? Like, who else do you want on your side? So that's really how I feel about Tsurugi. But then going into the other demon that had like the 6 eyes, I really wasn't expecting much of him. He kind of looked kind of doofy. So when he kind of deflected, he deflected all of them, bro, at the same time. Wait, let me go back to that shit. That shit was about us. What that shit was. Boom. He met all their hits. Bing, 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 bing. And then did a little stance. Rah. Sent them flying, bro. This man deserves some respect too. My boy with the trident looking like Poseidon, but not really. He's even giving that girl who's like a lolly but 1,000 years old or whatever a run for her money. And she's built up to be pretty crazy good. I am really excited to see what happens going forward, but it's just unfortunate knowing that I'm not gonna get much per chapter. But the kind of good thing, not so good thing, but kind of good thing given the circumstances, is that a lot happens in this series fast. So that kind of gives us, you know, something to nibble on. Like, for example, that training arc a couple chapters ago, that shit was really just 2 or 3 chapters and boom, we're done, you know? So I think we can still get some solid story progression, and it won't be us, oh my God, it's next year and we still on the same fights, which I think some manga struggle with.
I think we'll see. We'll see what happens in terms of the fight progression and everything. What I could see, especially just as a shonen trope, the Jack Joe fusion eventually wearing off because this is their first time, at least that we're seeing on screen, of them doing it. Of course, they train to get it. It's one thing to train to get it, and then you got to train and get used to it in combat and fighting at a high intensity. So I could see this wearing off, and then we go back to the girl, where she, I said the girl, the woman, as she would like to be called.
That's true.
The woman, where she's like, he said, you have great speed and everything. I think it'll be like a tag team versus this one particular demon lord, and then, at some point, they'll try to refuse. They'll refuse, and, I think it'll be a bit of a back and forth. I don't see these fights going by fast, but specifically because for once it's not Kiyoshi fighting. So because
and I'm not mad at that.
Basically one-shotting an opponent, or dominating as he is supposed to do, because that's just the type of character he is. He's supposed to be the OP character.
Yeah.
It's not him fighting, so it's not going to end fast. And to give the author credit, the last fight that he had, of course, lasted a lot longer than it usually does, because he basically finally ran into a warrior, a fighter, an entity that can match him in power. And not only that, but it seemed like, Kiyoshi got off easy. He ran out of precept power before. So,
yeah.
I don't want to deviate too much in terms of, making it about Kiyoshi, but I could see this fight lasting a little bit. Maybe 5,
I could see that
chapters,
too. I would give it more than 5-6 chapters. Do you mean like the whole Black Parade?
Oh no, the whole Black Parade, the power of it. Realistically, the whole Black Parade should be. We should be in this for a little while.
I'd say like 20 chapters.
I think
maybe 20 is a lot. Maybe for this series, 20 is a lot.
Chapters, I think it's fair.
It might end up being like 15, but we'll see.
We'll see. Because like I said before, I'm not sure where they're gonna go. I feel like they already fighting the final bosses of the show, and that's not because of the pacing of the show being fast. It's just how everything is set up. It's
literally the top demon lord.
What else is really set up? Are we gonna fight angels? But the whole point is for them to exercise things. We don't really, just typically in mythology, you don't exercise an angel. Or maybe there'll be more.
Or maybe it'll be against humans. Maybe
it'll be against humans, because you said, to your credit, you don't trust the headmaster, the guy that has his beard. And his hair shaped like a cross, and you're like, I don't trust him. From when you first saw him, you said, I don't trust him.
Not one bit. I don't trust him. I'll smile with him. I'll even sip tea with him, but I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him with my girl and with my money.
I think he's the type of character that you technically, by technicality, you can trust, but you don't trust him because you realize the way he's doing things is just, the best way I know how to explain it is you need to break a couple eggs to make an omelet type of thing. And I can see that character doing that. Whereas, he's doing the right thing, but
also this double-horned beast reminds me of Hanami. I got the name Hanami. Yeah. Hold up, let me get this right here.
The nature curse from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, Hanami. You gonna tell me that it's not this? Oh shit. I
mean, it absolutely could be that. Just when you think about it, because
look at this bad boy.
Realistically, you gotta think about how new this series is. And how long Jujutsu Kaisen has been out relative
Giovanni,
to
what's good, bro?
Series.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing good too. But yeah, this series is pretty new, and there's a lot of homages to many of the what is it called? Their peers. But do you have any closing thoughts as we head out for the night?
Solid chapter, but it is a setup chapter.
Yes.
But it's nothing wrong with the setup chapter. This is just the part of the series where I would say this is where you would want to read this in bulk. You know, because we get into fights. I feel like whenever you get to the fights of any shonen, that's probably where you want to start to read that particular part of the story in bulk. So the experience is better for yourself.
Yeah, honestly.
You know?
That's why I love staying away from Dragon Ball for months, for example, and then just coming back to it. It's nice. But
and you know, truth be told, oh damn, that's a whole separate video.
Yeah,
right,
so with that, we are going to be setting up a Dragon Ball / spoiler stream soon, where we're going to talk some shit about YouTube, Dragon Ball Z, you know, and Dragon Ball Super at this point, Dragon Ball Daima, all these different balls, you know. But yeah, we'll be talking about them. Then you'll be there, whoever you are. Creep. See you later. Peace. Same time again.